Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR. So with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. I'm recording this video a little bit ahead of time, so obviously price action in the short term is going to change a little bit. But guys, I'm watching altcoins very, very closely right now, especially HBAR. We are about to hit $2 trillion in the overall global crypto market cap. And when we look at the 24-hour span, guys, altcoins are going crazy. The portfolio, I'm sure, is probably looking good for a lot of you out there. And when we look at HBAR, it is one of the top 6 biggest winners right now in the top 100, up about 12% on the 24-hour span, up about almost 30% on the 7-day span. When we look at HBAR right now, we are peaking just around almost 10 cents. We recently just broke over it. The big thing to watch for right now when it comes to HBAR is a significant candle close. We have been watching this one closely for a while. The thing to really look at is right around this range that we are in currently, because this is where most of the significant resistance is and where most of the sell pressure really starts to begin. We look back in time at the almost end of 2022 to where we are at right now. We can see us hitting these levels back in February of 2023, where we rejected heavily off of it. We hit it back in December of 2023, again, rejected heavily off of it. And now we are there yet again. And we need to be very cautious here. We need to be careful and we can't be too, impulsive. When we go over to my chart recently, I posted this around 10 p.m. on the 18th. I said the main things to watch for on your favorite altcoins right now is their Bitcoin pairs. HBAR's Bitcoin pair has been ranging in this wedge for a while now. Breaking out of this should take us to the 15 to 20 cent levels. And at the time that I'm recording this, guys, you see us hitting that wedge. We are still rejecting off of it. We need to make sure that we break over this. The significance of a weekly candle close above the 50 weekly EMA, which is that orange line right there on the screen, is going to be very, very big. We did close above this recently back in February of 2023, but with the rest of the market having a major sell-off back in February, March of 2023, boom, we rejected heavily down past it, and we did not have a confirmed breakout above it. Ultimately speaking, I do think that the 200 weekly EMA, which did not start forming until July of 2023, is probably what really causes to have the sell-off here. Because what we want to see is a break above this and then a break above the 200 weekly EMA. And if we look at how far away that is right now from the current level on this Bitcoin pair, we are talking about roughly a 77% gain on the Bitcoin pair, which will reflect on the USD pair. But I'm not really focused too much on the USD pair as I am on the Bitcoin pair, because this is strength against Bitcoin. And at the time, when we look at Bitcoin, currently speaking, trading at about roughly 52.4K, Bitcoin dominance is still pretty high. I'm still watching the Bitcoin pairs more than the USD pair currently. But once we do get a breakout on this chart above that trend line and we get a close above it, then things can really look good for HBAR. Until then, we still need to be cautious of a sell-off. I'm watching HBAR all day today. I'm going to be watching it for the rest of the day. I'm going to keep a close eye on it, definitely going into the weekly candle close. But I would not be surprised if we have something like this where we just kind of, range a little bit longer in here and then we finally get that big breakout to the upside. Again, the USD pair is great to watch. It's incredible to watch HBAR breaking out here, but we don't have a full-on confirmed breakout yet. Again, I stress the idea of yet, because we could very well have a breakout very, very soon on the USD pair. Again, when we really look at this, we need a daily candle close above this 9.5 cent zone, which today could be that day, but more so a weekly candle close is going to be the thing that really kind of confirms everything. So mainly what we're looking at is the 25th. So we're still a little bit ways away, but the 25th is what we should be looking at. So more so on the longer term spectrum here, but short term on the daily span. So if we actually look at the daily span, this still looks very good, but we are still around that level of caution, which is we still are breaking down below 10 cents. We have not fully closed above 10 cents on the daily. That's what I'm watching for. And if you actually look at some of the higher timeframes, like the 3-day, for an example, you can see what really promoted this major move to the upside. More so, it was us squeezing between EMAs and then breaking above it, back testing it, holding it, and then continuing. So I'm really looking at this chart. I'm watching the Bitcoin pair a little bit closely, or a little bit closer than the USD pair. But I do think things are looking up. I do think that this weekly candle close could very well be the most bullish one in a very long time. We still need to watch it closely, though, because that is going to be the deciding factor. A weekly candle close above the 200 on the USD pair would be very, very significant. It would be about roughly 10.5 cents, which would confirm a breakout of all EMAs, and we have not seen that since going all the way back to 2021. And the best part about this chart actually is the fact that we have regained the 50 EMA, which is the orange line down here, and we broke above it for the first time, by the way. If we're talking about bullish trading above this, it was the first time since going all the way back to January of 2021, which really kind of allowed us to have that full-on breakout to all-time highs. But the best part is that we recently retested it just recently in January, held it, and then that's what also promoted the or provoked these 3 green weekly candles in a row. So very, very bullish overall setup for HBAR. And also when we go over to Credible Crypto's recent post, we actually have an update on HBAR below on lower timeframes. We have now hit the first local area of resistance supply, the level I discussed in my last video update on HBAR. At this point, 2 possibilities. We reject here and get a push down into one of the 2 green zones below. A final chance to add to your portfolios or your positions before the next major leg begins, in my opinion. Or 2, we break through this local resistance and simply continue higher from here. I do not know which one we will get. At this point, if you are already positioned like myself, you have a decision to make. Either lock in some partial profits here and compound on the dip if we get it, or hodl on knowing that we could reject here for a move back below the original entry I shared. I haven't made my decision on what to do yet, but my decision is based on my current overall positioning and current level of risk/exposure, so my decision may not be right for you and vice versa. Whatever you decide, consider both outcomes and make sure you will not be upset with either based on your course of action. Let's see how PA develops. And here we actually have the overall chart. Again, we have broken to the upper range of his supply zone, which is the orange line there, or the red line there. When we go back over here, this is what I had outlined originally, which is like right around like 8.5 cents to roughly 9.5 cents, because this is where most of the candle body closes were. We go back to the daily, we can also see that. But this is all resistance until we clear it and until we have significant candle body closes over it. But like I said, I'm more so watching the Bitcoin pair, in my opinion. When we look at this, it kind of confirms what we were anticipating anyways, which was us to actually range. So this would make sense for us to have a sell-off in the short term. He's actually looking at some levels around almost like the 9-cent zone and the possibility of the 6-cent zone. I don't know if we get that 6-cent zone. It's still possible, but ultimately speaking, I'm looking for us to just kind of range here and then get that confirmed breakout to the upside, probably at a later time. Now, this could range on for some time. Ultimately, like the summertime would be the focus for a breakout on this, but it could happen at any moment. I always stress the idea that don't focus too much on the time frame, focus on when it actually happens. We have been watching Hedera for a very long time. The big thing to really kind of look at is the fact that the overall market for Hedera has been brewing. Things have been looking very good. When you go look at the only DeFi player that I'm really focused on right now on Hedera because of the substantial amount of volume that it's doing, Saucer Swap, we can actually see that TVL is now over $120 million. Trading volume is at $500 million, and also market cap $94 million. This is for Sauce token. But as you look at this, right, like you could see the growing demand of DeFi on Hedera alongside account holders. Guys, this is in the last month. 378.4 thousand active accounts, 200 and almost 74,000 created accounts. When we look at the overall activity on Hedera, it's growing tremendously. And the overall support on Hedera's platforms across the board growing significantly. So there's a lot of eyes on Hedera right now. trading volume is up 250%. So you could tell that a lot more eyes are on Hedera this time around since going all the way back to 2021. I mean, it's night and day. But also, when we go over to DeFi Llama, we could see that TVL on Hedera right now is peaking right around the same levels of February of 2023. And again, when we look back on the charts, we know that we rejected heavily at that time. But we still need to be cautious here because this could very well break to the upside if the Bitcoin pair does break out. But as I've always said in the past, you need to be patient. You need to make sure that you are being cautious when it does call for it. Right now, I would say this is the best time to be a little bit cautious. Doesn't mean to sell your positions or anything like that. Me personally, I'm still holding my positions. I'm not selling yet, but my overall view on this is completely different than everyone else's. My risk assessment is a little bit different than everyone else's. I'm just more so looking forward to the rest of the year. I do think that altcoins are going to continue to perform. Bitcoin still has not hit a new all-time high. Mainstream media is still not pushing the crypto narrative. But I wouldn't be surprised if HBAR did have a short-term sell-off, back testing support, having the Bitcoin pair range a little bit longer, and then we finally get that break to the upside. But again, it has been very, very special to watch HBAR really kind of perform like this. I really do think that the real fun starts when we get daily candle closes and weekly candle closes over significant resistance zones. Until then, we just need to be a little bit more cautious. Altcoins are waking up in big ways. I've been talking about it for a little bit of time. I do think that everyone should be at this point in time positioned if you have been watching the channel. I've been talking about a ton of altcoins, including, of course, HBAR and so many other ones. And, you know, it really does pay to have time in the market instead of timing the market. That's also why I say when it comes to HBAR, you know, I'm going to take this as an opportunity if we do range sideways before this big breakout. If we do break to the upside on this, ultimately speaking, you still probably get a retest of the trend line before we continue to the upside as well. That's typical price action. So you still have a little bit of time. Remain cautious, remain patient. Don't FOMO in, all because things are moving. Like I said, I'm recording this a little bit earlier in the day, so by the time that this does go live, we should have some confirmation on what's going to happen here. So far, we are already rejected off of this trend line. But we still need to be a little bit more patient. We need to watch for the daily candle close today and see what happens. I will reassess that probably in a later video. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.